Hi everyone, welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. It's Nina here and today I bring to you a new video. It's Friday and the weekend is upon us. Now you might think, why am I smiling? What's there to smile about with Chelsea? But I want to try and make this video a little bit more positive today and talk about what we can see differently and what might inspire a little bit of a change, how we might turn a corner, and just honestly we need some refreshment this weekend. We are desperate for a result and we are desperate for a performance, so hopefully against Villa we can see something a little bit more cheerful. Now us fans have been really deprived of good football and results as of late. It's why we have really fallen now into this hole where again, we are recognising that there are deeper rooted issues here at the club, and trust me, I am all for it. Those conversations are very much relevant. We need to have them. But just for the purpose of going into a fresh game, I want to try and focus solely on the football and what could literally change as quickly as on Saturday. We need a result against Villa and we absolutely, hopefully, need a little bit of a different formation, different setup, a different kind of way of looking at this game, because what we put out against Brighton twice clearly didn't work, and Enzo Maresca hopefully is sitting there thinking the same thing as us fans. I need to do something differently here. So we're going to talk a little bit about the game, guys. We're going to talk about how we might see something different to what we have seen previously. If you're new to the channel, welcome, guys. If you enjoy the videos, then please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out any content. We'll be bringing to you guys everything that there is going on, and of course you guys already know that on Tuesday before the Southampton game there will be a protest at Stamford Bridge. How large and how big that's going to be is unknown, and that's still happening, and we'll bring to you guys obviously all the content around that. But just for today and just for this weekend, I want to focus solely on the football and hopefully bring a little bit of a positive, kind of happy, I guess, optimistic outlook to it. Now, I have been falsely optimistic is what I've been saying, just because I've gone through the last couple seasons since the takeover just hoping for something different every game. It's the hope that kills you as a fan, and even when you see the most boring, horrible, terrible football, you go into the next game just hoping that maybe something different happens. There's a corner turned, and honestly I just feel like right now we are very much in this boat again. So what can we do differently, Chelsea? Now, it's very tough to go into a game after so much noise and turmoil has gone on at the club, and it's very tough to, as a player, absorb that and then go out there on the pitch and play like nothing has happened. And I'm sure that they have all heard the noise and are seeing, hearing, watching everything that's been going on since we last played football. But ultimately, they have to go out there on the pitch, play their football, and hopefully get a result this weekend. So I would, very much like to think that sometimes players can take that and turn it into a positive. But with the lack of experience we have in the squad, with how young everyone is, with the fact that everyone kind of thrives off good performances and good games, I find it quite hard to believe that these players can motivate themselves. But, just for the sole purpose of achieving our goals, we're going to have to find a way to, do something a little bit more different. So I keep saying different and I keep saying change. Well, how can we make things different and how can we change? So, of course, recently with the amount of injuries we've kind of picked up, things have really drastically changed. We don't any longer have that depth that we pride ourselves in having at the start of the season. Nicholas Jackson is of course out, Mark Guy is all out, so that means we are out of number 9s. Christopher Nkunku isn't that profile, and we have now seen that he just doesn't have the box presence. He's not there when we need him to be, and frankly he is now kind of void of touches in the box and is simply doing nothing. So it almost kind of feels like in attack we're a man down when it comes to that. And at times I've seen him in the last kind of games be literally as deep as between our centre backs, playing like a defensive midfielder or something, I don't know. So he's very much not kind of fulfilling that task, and I don't think it's necessarily his fault. Now, I cut Christopher Nkunku a lot of slack because I think that the club has mistreated him in the fact that he was probably sold a dream that he'd be a player that Chelsea builds around and would very much be a first teamer. Now, that was very, very much not the case. Then he was very much informed that he would be considered for sale should a good offer come in. It didn't, so he's still here with us, but just knowing himself that he is not part of Chelsea's big plans, it's very hard for us to expect him to come on or start games and inspire motivation within the team or to fight with the team. And again, you kind of almost have lost the mentality of that player there. So I think for this game, I would either use Nkunku in a different role, like let's say if we do play a false nine, and I've seen people say, you know, play Pedro Neto up top, which again, I wouldn't go against that. Tosin or Pedro Neto can play up top, because what else do we want to see? Cole Palmer, again, there is a shout there that he could play as a false nine, but in previous games where we've seen that, it hasn't really worked, or we don't get the best out of him. And I think, again, he is just so much more crucial for creating chances, and I think we really will need him in that kind of playmaker role against Aston Villa, someone that can create chances for us. He's been doing that. People say as of late he's not been himself, but again, Cole Palmer gets held to his own standards. So, of course, you know, when you look at how exceptional he's been and you look at the previous kind of games, you're not entirely satisfied with those performances, you know, which is as expected, really. So something different in terms of Nkunku even needs to be kind of playing alongside Cole Palmer, creating chances and being in that little bit more of a playmaker role, someone who can link up well. And then you have Pedro Neto making runs in behind and maybe, I don't know, doing something a little bit more explosive, because Neto is great. His pace is, I think, something we haven't really utilised well recently. And in terms of goal scoring ability, he's not exactly that type of player at Chelsea right now. And when you're void of having a target man and an out-and-out number 9, you kind of look to your wingers to score goals, and that's not really been the case. Equally, you can bring in Sancho into this conversation, and I think it is up to debate whether you start Sancho in this game, and maybe he's better off as a bench option. You know, our bench is becoming thinner by the day anyway, and, you know, when you're bringing on Dewsbury Hall and Tyreek George in games to inspire an equaliser, you know that you are out of options. And that's no disrespect to the players, because I think Tyreek George has a little something to him. You know, he's got that spark, he's got that flair, he tries things. He came on against Brighton and probably looked the liveliest out of our attacking options. So again, something different. You wouldn't be I mean, I don't think it's mad to say that we probably will see Tyreek George come on in this game. I think we're now regularly going to see him be a super sub, purely because, again, we have injuries. Nani Madueke, obviously, we know is going to be out for a little longer. So in that regard, we maybe want to see something, I don't know, like Cole Palmer, Christopher Nkunku, maybe Pedro Neto there at the front. And obviously we have Enzo and Caicedo alongside each other. And I've seen this kind of formation now where we could try and once again utilise what once worked for us, our wing backs, and kind of have Cucurella and Reece James there in those supporting roles. But, you know, with Cucurella, I think that's easier because, again, I think he doesn't have a problem with pace. He does bomb further up there. But then you have the tough thing, and I guess the tough, or rather the risk that comes with that is you're playing Levi Colwill, maybe Tosin and Chalobah there at the back, but you are also leaving that left-hand side, in my opinion, quite exposed. Both, really, both you could say as bad as each other. And that's not to say that I don't trust Reece James, but I do think that his pace has significantly decreased. And, you know, in terms of kind of sprinting up and down, I think Enzo Maresca doesn't want that, and he is trying to protect him there. And do you risk it in a game like this where, you know, Aston Villa do have pace up front, they can be quick on the counter, they can transition very well and have been a lot more cohesive than us as a team, so you could get punished. But again, I don't really want to go into a game and try and, like, I don't know, sit back, because I don't even think that will work against Aston Villa. Man-for-man marking, I don't think is great. But if we do set up like that, it's a little bit different, right? And obviously Jorgensen in goal. And I guess what we have to do here is actually back Maresca. If he makes these changes, actually say, okay, fair enough, because what we've done previously isn't working anymore. It's become stagnated. So I think I would be a lot more happier to see something different and say, okay, Maresca, fair play, you've recognised that what you've tried to do isn't quite right, and then we can just get behind that team that he's put out there and back them in this moment in time. Because once again, they're going to be low on confidence, they're going to be void of confidence, they're going to be hearing all this noise around them, guys. And I think now more than ever, we're still relying on these players to get us top 4 or top 5. We're relying on these players to win us the Conference League. We're relying on these players to be competitive and win games till the end of the season. So we still very much need to support them. So I guess if I want to leave one message with you at the end of this video, it's get behind the team and back the team, because once again, we want to win football games, right? Yes, on the side of that, we will argue and we will push and send out a clear message with what it is we are unhappy with and what this club kind of needs long term and present day as well, because that's again one of the most important points. And I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole now and talk about these greater issues, because once again, we need to focus on winning these big games and we need to get behind the players, because if we're sitting there shouting bad stuff at them in the ground, I don't think that's going to achieve our goals. And again, the season's not done, so we're very much far away from that. You know, we still have goals to achieve this season and the players need our support. So yeah, get behind the team. The fans that are going to go to the Villa game, enjoy, try and have a good time. I know that things can very quickly go south and head downhill if you know, we don't win this game, but I don't want to think about that right now. I want to go into this game thinking, no, let's try something different and let's hopefully inspire some change and just see what works with what we've got right now. So yeah, guys, hopefully a little bit more of a positive one. Hopefully, I think, you know, I've tried to make us believe in something. And again, it's like the hope kills you as a fan. You go into every game and you expect something a little bit more different. You expect to turn a corner, but this game is huge because from here on, we have tough games coming and we need results. We need to gain momentum a little bit again and just remind ourselves what it feels like to win, because we've forgotten about that a little bit, you know? So yes, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below and who you would start or not in this game. What change would you like to see? And I mean on the pitch. Yeah, I know exactly your thoughts about everything that's happening behind the scenes and what you'd like to change upstairs, but on the pitch, what would you like Enzo Maresca to do differently so that we can go out there and win a game at Villa Park? Let me know, guys. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, check out my personal channel for more Chelsea content, Nina's Chelsea Corner. It will be linked in the description down below. Take care of yourselves, guys. Have a great weekend. And, of course, up the Chels.